One of the ways I can gauge how much I love a city is how many steps I take while I'm there. When I'm logging tens of thousands of steps every day on my Fitbit, I know I'm energized and there's a lot to see in the place, and then it's a great walking city too. In Vilnius, the capital of Lithuania, which I visited for the first time this summer, I was logging like 30,000 steps a day, which is a ton for me. It's a lot. I usually get more like 10,000 when I'm not traveling. When I'm traveling in a place I kind of like, maybe 15 or 20,000, 30,000 steps a day is really good. Vilnius has one of the largest old towns in Europe. And unlike some European old towns, it's what they call a working old town, meaning that it's not just a big museum or a tourist attraction. There's a lot of people who live and work in Vilnius's old town. It's really thriving. It's a beautiful place. There are a lot of cities also where there's like one street or two streets where people congregate at night and all hang out and have drinks and dinner outside. Well, Vilnius is not like that. There were like dozens of different streets where people congregate in the summertime. So many bars and restaurants, just so good for people watching. It's a super lively city too. I can't remember a city with so many beautiful old churches. If you're into visiting old churches, Vilnius is your place. There's not just a few of them in the old town. There's probably a dozen or two really, really interesting, beautiful old churches. It's also a city of markets, and we're going to show you some of those in the video. I think one of them. But it's also a very pro-Ukraine place. You see Ukrainian flags everywhere in Vilnius, and indeed all around Lithuania and the Baltics for that matter. We also ate very well in Vilnius. I really fell in love with the national dish, which is the cepelini or zeppelins, which is like a potato dumpling, but just more delicious than you can imagine. And I always had mine with the pork cracklings on top. Oh, so good. Probably not healthy for you, but what the hell? When you're in Lithuania, you got to have at least one per day, as I did. We also visited Lukiškės prison, which is this old prison that's super interesting, and took the tour there. We took a hot air balloon ride over Trakai Castle, which I'm going to do a whole nother video about. Highly recommend that place. It's just outside Vilnius, maybe half hour. All right, all that said, let's roam around the city and stroll around a little bit and give you a flavor of what beautiful Vilnius, Lithuania is all about. Breakfast in Lithuania. I'm ready for this. I'm hungry, as I always am. Sometimes hard to find restaurants, bakeries and stuff like that open as early as I want to be. But markets, you gotta love markets. You can almost always find a market in a town and they open up early. This is the Halle Market in beautiful Vilnius. I am just about to go in this place and check it out. We'll see whether I'm gonna have breakfast here or not, or just snack a little bit. You know how I am. If I could have a little breakfast here, that'd be nice. And then a second breakfast a little bit later, that would make me doubly happy. Let's see what kind of breakfasts I can conjure up in Lithuania. Let's go. Nice looking breads and cookies here. I'm coming back to this place. Okay, what have we got here? This stuff looks good. All right. Oops. This seems to be like a pickle type area. Oops, sorry. Different pickles and such. Interesting. Pickles and rye breads. Interesting. All right, this looks like a legit coffee place. There's a bagel place across the way that I really would like to try. It opens at 9:30. Oh, it's 8:30, people. I want bagels. I don't want to wait till 9:30. But there's a smoothie place and there's a coffee place. So let's start and see what we can get here. This looks great. Thank you. I got two cute dogs across from me here this morning. One is Dachshund and the other one I'm not quite sure. Nice, I love to eat breakfast with dogs. By the way, this Prezzo Bakery seems to be the place, and people are all lined up here. But I kind of choked a little bit when it was my turn. There were people in line who were helping me, who were super nice, telling me what was what.
I was trying to quickly translate things, but it's not easy. You're at this bakery, everything is labeled in a foreign language. Like, what is going on? And there were so many people behind me in line. I felt like, damn, I can't take 20 minutes asking them to translate each item. So I just got something that somebody told me was a ham and cheese and chicken pie. And but I'm saving that for my son Leo, because that's the kind of thing that he likes. But I might come back to this place and get some more stuff too, because they have, like, someone was telling me that they have a beautiful looking bread that they said is like a carrot bread. But when I put it in Google Translate, it doesn't say carrots. So I'm really confused about what the hell it is, but it looks very good. It's the spillover of the market. More vendors out here. Beautiful products too. This is the Gates of Dawn.
You have arrived.
You hear this lovely music? This is really interesting. It's St. Teresa's Church here in Vilnius. You can see behind me they're celebrating a 9 a.m. Mass. And there's people up on there's steps leading to this chapel. People are on their knees on the stairs leading up to here. And some people are out here in the street watching the Mass, which you can see above me. Very interesting. This is St. Thomas's Church in Vilnius. All right, got some delicious pumpkin soup for 1.5 euros. Chicken Kiev, mashed potatoes, radish, I think, and carrot for 4.5. Not too shabby.
One that we crossed to your hotel. Remember that's a river. And the river takes you to the Belarus when you go to the east. So that's for materials and special whatever you need for production. And it ends up in the Baltic Sea. So that connects to the west. So people who started to live here, from the beginning, they were craftsmen and merchants. The people who were trading and producing.
Super nice looking cake shop. Macaroons. Fancy looking cakes. So this says Jewish Street in Hebrew and Yiddish. And you see the mural here of a Jewish street. Inside of this fancy Putin toilet paper here at the flea market. St. Anne's Church. This is a real beauty. Great looking cafe. Congratulations. The Lithuanian food. We got a zeppelin, a cepelini, small portion. We got pancake with meat. And we got some fried dumplings. We got some sausages, and we got a pork stew. Looks delicious. Another day in Lithuania and more zeppelins. I'm totally addicted to these things. They're so good. Now I'm at Etno-Dvaras, a place in the old town, which comes highly recommended. Let's see how these babies are. These are country style with crackling. Every time I eat these zeppelins, I think that I've found one that's better than the last. This one, these cracklings are so good. These little pork cracklings. This stuff is heavenly. These are super creamy. They're not quite as big as the ones I had last night. But what they lack in size, they make up for in super quality. It melts in your mouth. I mean, this stuff is like candy. Excellent. So the place is called Etno-Dvaras. They have a couple of locations. This one in the old town is just fantastic. You can sit outside and have all kinds of good traditional Lithuanian food. Reasonable too. Arriving at Lukiškės prison for our prison tour. Looking forward to it.
I don't even have
So this is St. Casimir's Church, one of the beautiful Vilnius Baroque churches. Believe it or not, the Soviets turned this into a museum of atheism during Soviet times. And there's also a Jesuit monastery here, and it's a Jesuit church. Synagogue. Trakai Castle. This is the #1 castle in the Baltic countries behind me there on that island. We flew over it in a hot air balloon the other day. Now we're gonna go see it. It stopped raining. Looking forward to this one. This is gonna be awesome. Here we go. Heading out to the island with the fantastic medieval Trakai Castle. Symbol of Lithuania right here. How cool is this? You gotta love it. If you like castles, this one will get your blood flowing. Check it out. Can you just imagine galloping in here on horseback? Pretty sweet. Yep. So Trakai Castle, as I said, one of the most special ones in the Baltic region and all around Europe, really, especially because of its island location. This was built in the 14th century and I think completed around 1409 or so. 14th century Lithuania, by the way, was the Grand Duchy of Lithuania. That was the biggest, baddest power in Europe, believe it or not. Lithuania reached its zenith in the 14th century. It was the largest territory in Europe and far, far greater than today. And in the 1950s and 60s, the Soviets rebuilt this place, basically refurbished it. So you see some of the bricks look pretty new, and that's why the castle looks so perfectly intact, unlike other castle ruins where they're somewhat crumbling. But very cool place to visit, that's for sure. So on the last Sunday of the month, Trakai Castle is free, which is a mixed blessing. Very nice to save the money, but also it's probably 20 times as crowded as any other time to visit it. So, but here's the cool thing is that most of the people in there, and there's swarms of them, are remaining inside of the castle walls, and almost no one is exploring the outside, the exterior path around the castle, which is really nice because you're on this island setting here.